Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. It's your boy Mike. We are back at you one more again, live on a Thursday night, man. I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's feeling great, man. Enjoying your week, ready to kick it with us because we got a dope show on the way for you tonight. We got DPR Cold Blood in the building. But first and foremost, man, let's show some love. Shout out to my lovely wife, Takara. Appreciate everything you do. Y'all definitely make sure you show us some love in the comments. And don't stop there, though. Do us a solid and show the channel some love. Hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And make sure you smash that notification bell so you can get notifications each and every time we drop a video here on the channel. Shout out to the audio only gang. Audio recordings of Clutch Conversations are available on all major podcasting platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. So definitely make sure you're checking us out. And when you're checking us out on your favorite podcast platform, please be sure to follow, rate, and review. It really helps us out. We appreciate the feedback, and we most definitely appreciate the support. Speaking of support, if you're involved in this reptile hobby in any shape, form, or fashion, make sure you're supporting US Art and US Art Florida. The links for both organizations are in the description of this video. If you're not a member, definitely go grab your membership. If you're able to donate, please donate what you can. And be sure to spread the word about both these organizations that are helping protect our rights as reptile keepers. So make sure you tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a get friend, spread the word. And make sure you spread the word about our sponsors as well. We about to kick the sponsor video. Shout out to the homie Shane. Shout out to the homie Justin. After we kick the sponsor video, we're going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. We'll be right back. Big dreams start in small towns. Small Town Xotics is a family-ran business that specializes in high-quality ball python morphs, western hognoses, and select leopard geckos. They are proud members of US Art Florida, and the Orient Society. Stay connected with Small Town Xotics on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Witness their journey as they grow their business and showcase their animals to the world. Thank you, Small Town Xotics, for sponsoring the show.
Art comes in many forms. At Armless Angels, it comes to life.
Yeah, appreciate the homie Justin. Appreciate the homie Shane. Really appreciate all your support. Let's see who we got in the chat tonight. We got the homie Dun Dada in the building. What's good, bro? You already know. Appreciate the love, bro. Thanks for coming out. More Valley in the building. What's good, man, Freddie? 352 in the building. Go Gators. How about them Gators, baby? Yeah, y'all saw us, man. Y'all show us some love, man. Everybody drop some Gators in the chat. Shout out to the homie Brian. Rock, what's good, bro? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. What's good, boss of the Sultan of Support himself? Appreciate you coming through. Eric, what's good, bro? Eric's More Factory in the building. Texoma Exotics, what's good, Holly? Appreciate you coming out. Frankenstein Moores, what's good? Thanks for coming out, fam. We got Game of Odds, what's good? Arvin, appreciate you coming out. Sammy, what's good, bro? Appreciate you coming out. Chad, what's up, bro? Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the support. David, what's good? Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the support. See who else we got. Serp Works, what's good? Good to see you. I ain't seen you in a minute. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the support. Who else we got? Make sure I don't miss nobody. Golden Rule, what's good? Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the support. Ball Morphics in the building, what's good? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate the support. Cuddle Time, what's good? Thanks for coming out. Bone Daddy Serpents, what's good? Big Ray, what's good, brother? Appreciate you coming out. My favorite reptile podcast, what's good, brother? Thanks for coming out. We got the homie Wiz in the building again. Wiz Tang Clan, man. Y'all stand up, man. Shout out to the Wiz Tang Clan. Shout out to the V Unit. Shout out to the suspects. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the support, homie. Mike, what's good, bro? Appreciate you coming out. North Star in the building. Nameless Collector, what's good? Appreciate you coming out. See who else we got. Make sure y'all don't miss nobody. I think we're going to stop it right there. We're going to kick the intro, then we'll be right back with the show.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up. This cool. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts.
Episode 83, DPR Coldblood. What's good, brother? How you doing?
What's up? How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good, man. Good. Good to see you. Good to have you on the show, man. Been looking forward to it all week.
Me as well. Me as well.
Yes, sir. How's your day going?
It's been pretty hectic. I'm preparing for a hunting trip this weekend, and it's just we came back from the biggest show in Canada last weekend, and just a couple days and unpacking everything, preparing, the rest of the week, and then the trip this weekend, and coming up Tinley as well. So just busy times.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of in and out, preparing for different trips and different activities.
Right on.
So it's just like Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday thing, the hunting trip?
I'm leaving until next Tuesday. It's like a 5-day thing.
Okay, nice. How often you do that?
It's my first time going hunting. So fingers crossed, moose hunting up north in Quebec with one of my buddies. So it should be interesting.
Nice. That's what I was about to ask you. Was it moose hunting?
Yep. That's it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Big ones.
That'll be pretty cool. Yeah, man. So real quick, for those that may not know, someone who listens to this later, they've been living under a rock. Introduce yourself. Give us a little insight into your origin story, how you got into reptiles. The elevator speech.
For sure, man. So my name is Antoine. I'm from Canada, and I've been a reptile passionate since I can barely walk. I've been catching snakes for my whole life, and I started keeping snakes at 6 years old, just by pressuring my mom for having reptiles at home. She's not into reptiles whatsoever, but she saw my passion as I was a kid, and she always supported that. So I've always had reptiles at home, and I started breeding ball pythons. I actually started breeding bearded dragons at 11 or 12, and I had snakes from 14 up to now. So I've been breeding ball pythons for 8 years now, and I'm 25. Right now, and it's been a crazy ride, but living the dream, man. It's amazing.
Nice. So what was it about reptiles in general? What drew you to it?
Good question. This is actually something that I have a hard time answering. There's a strange, weird fascination for reptiles. I think that a bit of people don't necessarily like reptiles, and kind of being passionate about something that people don't really understand and kind of fear. That whole thing of it have always been super fascinating to me. And there's some inexplicable thing about just, scaled animals that are cold-blooded and just slither, no, like, I don't know. It's just crazy, man.
Nice, nice. So, what do you think like drives a lot of the misconceptions about reptiles? I guess backing up, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about reptiles do you like kind of come across, and what do you think drives a lot of that?
I mean, mostly I think it's fear from having been told all your life that snakes are dangerous, snakes are vicious. Snakes are oftentimes associated with the viciousness, like, oh, they'll chase you down, they'll try to bite. But when you really get down to it, they're just animals trying to live their life. I feel like most of the society is kind of afraid of snakes because of that misconception. And it's when I was younger and still today, I've done some educational shows. It's always such a great time when you have some family over. The kids is like really really into reptiles. The parent is so far from it, but you talk to them, you explain, you share the knowledge, you share the passion, and you see like the parent warming up to it and just like getting to maybe this isn't so bad after all. And after a couple minutes talking with them, having like that understanding of their kids passion, this is a great thing. So it's good doing shows, it's good doing educational shows only for that. But that teaching aspect with reptile is also something that I've always loved.
That's dope. That's dope, especially like winning people over and kind of like changing their mind, or at least kind of planting the seed to maybe change their mind later.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you mentioned earlier, so you said your mom wasn't really into reptiles. Did she
Yep.
ever warm up to them after you were keeping them?
Uh, Even now, whenever she comes to the facility, which doesn't come that often, she touches them. She might handle one, but
That's a
for
big step, bro.
yeah, very very slight moment. Like it won't be too long. But she's fascinated. Like she watches all of the YouTube videos. She asks me questions about the clutches. She doesn't know the genetics, obviously, but she's super interested. And she's. I was blessed to have a family that was like really really open minded. And although it's not her thing, she enjoys it through me.
Yeah, like my mom, like she supports like what we do. Like she likes to post, she'll check the podcast out and stuff like that. And so she's excited that we're doing something that like we enjoy. But when it comes to like actually touching them now, she ain't trying to have no parts of that.
I mean, as
So
long
that's a
as
big step.
that's it. As long as our parents are just like they're okay with it and they accept it and enjoy it through us, it's perfect. That's
Yeah.
all I'm asking for.
100%, 100%. So when you were younger and you were keeping, were you kind of like the only person in your circle that was keeping, or were there like other folks that kept as well?
Yeah, my dad has always brought me to like reptile groups, the reunions once a month and stuff like that. Been doing like going to the expos and stuff. But as far as friends or family members, I was always the only one. I've always nerded out online on the reptile care, the reptile books, and just like reading through all of that. I've always loved to do herping out in the wild and all those things. So it's always been like a big, big, big passion of mine. But other than those contacts I had with groups or shows, I didn't really have anyone in my circle up to a certain point where I attracted those people from being older and just being able to get those people around. But yeah, I wasn't when I was younger. It was just pure passion.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And so you started out with bearded dragons, and how long did you breed those?
I think I did that for like 4 or 5 years, and I saved all the money to buy my first ball pythons back in the day. Like I saved everything I made, and I bought a banana for like 1,500 when I was like 16, which
Okay.
was kind of a lot of money back then.
That's a lot of money for
For
16.
for a male banana, it's still and at 16 years old, yeah. But yep, started with bearded dragons, but I've kept so many different things like crested geckos, leopard geckos, a lot of frogs, some sand boa, some carpet python. So I've ventured here and there, but the ball pythons are really what my main focus is.
So what caused you to focus on the ball pythons?
100% of genetics.
Gotcha.
That aspect, like yeah, the species is great. As far as species, I think that my favorite one has to be the blood pythons. They just like have an amazing body shape, the personality, and everything. But as far as genetic, the ball pythons were absolutely crazy. I remember back in the days when I was like on World of Ball Python every single night instead of doing homeworks, just nerding out on all the morphs, the combinations, and the creation of art that this is basically all about. And then the science aspect backing everything up. So it's a mix between passion, science, and art. It's a perfect blend to just get completely hooked on it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And so you picked up a male banana, and then so what did the collection building process look like from there?
Yeah, so I picked up the male banana. I had a few friends that worked in like wholesale facility where they had ball pythons, and I kind of scooped up some stuff here and there without really knowing where to go, where the breeding was heading. And I think it was in 2017 I started working for Brian at NBK Reptiles. He's also in Montreal, and he kind of mentored me at that starting point. I've had already a couple of years of breeding, but without any real goals or whatnot. So he kind of mentored me, and that first year working for him, I bumped my collection from like 50 to 150 snakes. So a whole 100 snakes in 1 year, and then it just escalated quickly. Being working full time with reptiles and just being involved in that all the time is just it scaled up very, very quickly. Where now I have like 5 years after that, I have 500 snakes now.
You got 500 now?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So when you made that jump from like 50 to 150, were you like focused on specific projects and like what that looked like?
My main thing has always been clown. I like the variety of clowns. My greatest passion is everything that can go into clown with incomplete dominance. I love double real, triple recessive and whatnot, but I think that there's something very special about just few incomplete dominance with clown. You can swoop them up and have some crazy interactions all the time. So clown's always been my focus when I started. So I kind of picked all my animals based on that. And now I have different projects that I ventured in: the Sentinel, the Puzzle, the Monsoon, different things that I'm playing with here and there as well.
Got you. What's your favorite incomplete dominant in clown?
In clown, honestly, more and more, I think the one that impresses me all the time is there's two. I can't like really. There's OD and Cypress.
Okay.
I think that OD is just there's the super form makes it so crazy. It's a kind of desert ghost on its own. It just makes everything so nice. And Cypress is the king of all genes, in my opinion. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, those two are kind of equal for me.
Yeah, Cypress is nice, man. And then like a lot of those Cypress OD combos, man, it's
Those two
nice. Man, I
together?
seen some killer stuff.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to work more Cypress in the following season, in the 2024 season. I haven't really worked it that much. I do have some animals, but now I got a male, this good size and like a proven breeder that's gonna be good to go. And so hopefully if everything goes right, knock on wood, that should push like my Cypress stuff a lot further. So I'm really
Nice,
looking
man.
forward to working with that gene, man.
What are you
Cypress
working?
is dope.
What are you working in your Cypress projects?
So I'm gonna work some OD in it. I'm gonna do some ALS stuff, like with that whole complex with like spot
Yep.
nose.
Nice.
See some chocolate stuff, man. Even like Cypress Mojave combos look good.
Yeah.
If I didn't mention OD, definitely OD. I'm definitely get it in hypo clown and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take it a whole bunch of different ways: yellow belly, spot nose, just a whole bunch of stuff I'm working into, and probably working into like ultra clown as well. So
Oh yeah, Cypress Ultracon sounds pretty sweet, man.
So I'm really looking forward to Cypress. Hopefully this male is like an all-star. And so like he can help me get it done and get me closer. But yeah, Cypress is nice.
Yep.
I still got him, but I thought he would be breeding by now, but it's a Cypress Spectre double head hypo clown male. But like
Okay.
he went off food for the longest. But then George from George MD Reptiles gave me like a tip, and like he been back on food like solid now, and he's put on like a ton of weight. So maybe he'll be ready to go next year too, but I ain't gonna force it. It's all good.
Patience, man. Patience is everything.
100%. So early on, like what were some of your biggest challenges as far as like the breeding aspect?
I think the greatest challenges was, to be honest, I think money at first was the greatest challenge. I've always wanted to shoot for whatever's best, And I did a few risky moves right from the start that did pay off in the end, but I wouldn't necessarily advertise it. I took a few loans, actually a lot of loans from the bank to get things going, and put basically all my eggs in the same basket, which was really like it turned out good for me, but that definitely was a stressful time. And then I've had problems with just in 2020 I've had the room temperature that was just a little too high and caused my season to almost be completely all slugs. Maybe like 70% of my eggs were slugs.
What was it?
Sorry?
What temp was the room?
I think it was like at 85 or something. So it's still like, I'd rather have it at 80, but that 85 was kind of that cold spot was too warm for the male sperm to be really good. So, ended up having a lot of slugs in that year, which was kind of a crucial year because it was kind of the first year where my most expensive projects were started breeding. All my Het Monsoon stuff that I purchased started breeding as well. So having all those slugs back at that time really did hurt the progress of the business, but we learned from our mistakes, and we're trying to adjust all along.
Got it. So some people go through like hard times, they get punched in the mouth, and they don't necessarily keep trucking. What do you think? What do you think you possess in terms of like just kind of like personalities, traits, and characteristics and stuff like that that kind of gave you that to keep pushing?
I'd say, man, honestly, it's just when you look at the end goal more than the present, this is really what has made the biggest difference. I don't know if I mean, obviously you've seen where we had a podcast planned together one night, and I literally the same night of our podcast, this is when the flood happened at their facility. And it's just things that are absolutely overwhelming, completely crushing. But it's just a matter of, what's the goal? The goal is to, do this, and that, breed the animals and see yourselves in a couple of years. So whatever we have to do to get there, we'll do, no matter what it takes, no matter how hard it is or how, mentally challenging it is. The flood was absolutely crazy. It's we did the show last weekend at the in Toronto. And that's one of the things that people were coming all the time and saying is like, man, I couldn't believe how crazy that flood was. And it was just, 3 days of complete mess, to just work 24/7. And we had to do what we had to do. So anyone that's having a hard time is just, list all the things you have to do and don't go to bed until it's done. It's just like, it's a matter of doing everything until you can say for sure that, your animals are safe or your situation is all right. And it's just a matter of perseverance and determination. That's all it is.
100%, 100%. I actually want to talk about the flood some. So can you walk us through what happened with the flood and everything?
Yeah, so basically I kind of left a little bit earlier the shop because I had the podcast and everything with you. So I wanted to, get ready and do my things at home. But as soon as I arrived from home, there was basically all that day, there was like a tornado warning in the area. So I got back home, and one of the staff that was still at the shop sent us a picture that there was about an inch of water in the basement, and all the animals, all the ball pythons basically are in the basement, both NBK Reptiles room and mine. So I just got home, managed to, my girlfriend, I grabbed my girlfriend out from work, and just managed to get home, grab the water boots and the headlights, and rush back to work. And in that 30 minutes from my place to the shop, we passed from 1 inch to 16 inches of water in 30 minutes. So that was absolutely hectic. And as soon as I got there, like I got in the water, and I turned down all the power just, for safety measures. And it was, as soon as the power was off, it's like I dragged my girlfriend in the water, and the water was rising like crazy. It was pitch black with the lights. And we just heard like the big noises of the water rising in the shop. So it's just a rush of moving all the animals a few rows up to make sure that the first and second row were safe. And by the time we did those two, so NBK's room and mine, all the first row of rodent have completely drowned. It was like we're just two doing all the things, and it was kind of a really crushing moment to see all the animals, like the rats, the production drowning and everything. And then we didn't know really when the water would stop and what was actually causing it. So we're just trying to rush with the staff that was coming in to dump all the water out. And later on, like the water stopped rising. We understood that basically we're right beside a highway, and that highway, there's like a dip in the highway, and the water just like rose like crazy. So they opened the sewers, and since we're really close, all the water from the highway went in the sewers and popped back inside of our drains. So that's what was causing like a huge, insane amount of pressure and water inside of our basement. And then from like 6:30 p.m. to 3 in the morning, we had pumps running, and we had like 6 or 7 people from the team and some people that came in, like just random people that saw the video online and were close to from our area in Montreal, came in to help. And we got the water out by 3 in the morning. Then we got some people that stayed all night for cleaning and everything. Got back home, went back at 7 in the morning next day, and just disinfected because all the water was super dirty and rose all the rat substrate and everything. So we had all that to clean. And then that was basically the disinfectant part for 2.5 days, and just absolutely crazy. But 3 days later, the facility looked like brand new. So that was good.
Nice. So in terms of like the rats that you lost, like how many of your colonies and how much of your production did you lose? And have you
So
bounced back from that any yet?
yeah, so we have like 3 rooms of rats, and that's about like 25 racks, like single rows rack, and a few ARS and stuff like that there. But all the first rows were completely drowned. Second row was fine, but we lost that percentage, which is about probably like 15% of our whole rat production. But we produce more than what we need, and we sell to a few breeders in the area, just so we're always covered. We never run into drought season where we don't have enough rats. So we're still fine. It's just that we had to catch all that back and raise a few more rats for keeping the next generation coming and redoing all that colony. But the damages between our side of the facility, and BK has also like other parts in different like wholesale business. But the general cost of everything was about like $65,000 of damages.
Dang.
Yeah. So that was kind of brutal.
Yeah. No doubt, for sure. Did you all do anything, like have y'all like changed anything at the facility that would help if something like that happened again? Or like what's
The
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 plan there?
the main stressful part is that there's not much we can change to prevent it. The only things we can do is be ready of if it happens again. We have 2 detectors on 2 sensors on the floor for any water. So if there's like half a centimeter of water, we'll get a notification on our phones so we can know right away. And now we have 6 powerful pumps that are ready to use, and 3 generators. So if ever anything happens, like we can be proactive and be there quick and already pump out the water as soon as it fills in. So we probably, if the same thing would have happened again, we wouldn't be in a position where the water would rise like crazy and we'd be kind of helpless there. Now we have some solutions that we can be proactive about that.
Nice. That's what's up. So you got some good like detective and corrective controls in place. So that's what's up.
Yeah, that's it.
100%. So what are some of the, like your biggest takeaways from going through this?
Honestly, it's just be ready for everything. Like you never know what can happen. Like this winter, we had a 70+ hours power outage. And we're up north in Canada, so basically the winter is pretty brutal. And the incubator temperature like fell down and everything. It's just like what I can get out of this is just always be prepared for the worst possibilities. Like we never had a fire from the time that I've worked there. I'll knock on wood for that. That's kind of one of the worst things that can happen. But from all the other things that I can get, it's just like, if you have one generator outside that's ready to use, but realistically you need another one, and you don't really, it's a bit expensive, so you don't really know if you should buy it right now, because the day you'll need it, everybody will need it as well, and they'll be out of the stores, and you want to be prepared for everything, so that way when the day comes that you need those things, you're actually proactive instead of reactive. The proactivity before will bring you less stress and hopefully a better outcome.
Yeah, my mom used to always say she'd rather have and not need than need and not have.
Nice. Yeah, that's it.
Cool, man. So let's talk about the business transition. So what does the DPR stand for?
DPR, man. I was 16. I was trying to get for a brand that was catchy and everything, and I was like, you know what? All of what it is, it's a dream to breed my passion for reptiles. So DPR, dream, passion, reptiles. So that's
Nice,
yeah,
nice. That's what's up. That's
yeah.
what's up. And I noticed like everywhere I look, like y'all consistently like don't capitalize like the cold blood at all. Is that intentionally or that's just kind of how it shakes out?
Yeah, I think the DPR was kind of the main thing moving forward. It's like the whole name, but the DPR is really what stands out. The I think that naming a business just DPR kind of feels a bit weird. Cold Blood was more of like filling the gaps, but I think that DPR is mostly the main brand. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. And so at what point did you say, "Hey, I want to make this a business"? Was it when you like got like you went up like 100 snakes like
Before I
in
started,
1 year, or was it before then?
before I started, I
Before
had
you,
I had like 5 snakes, and to be completely honest, like I was watching Brian Burchick video when I was maybe like 12 or 13 online. I was like, I can't believe that someone can live off breeding reptiles. That's what I want to do. And my whole goal from starting to watch Brian Burchick's video and up to now was only breed reptiles for a living. When I finished high school, all my family was like, "Oh, you need to go in biology because you love the animals, you like science, you love nature and whatnot." But I was like, nah, I have to go in business school because I love the animals. I'm good with them already. What I need is the business knowledge to achieve my dream of owning a business breeding reptiles. So that's what I've done. I did business studies for 3 years after high school, and the goal has always been that since then. So there was no really like a point where I had my animals. I was like, oh, I'd like to do this for a living. It was before going in. I was like, I want to work with reptiles for a living.
gotcha. You just worked towards that the
Yeah,
whole entire
right on.
time when you went into it. Okay, that's what's up. So like, what are some big things that you took away from business school that you like apply like on a routine basis now?
Uh, I'd say like them. It's a good question. Um, One of the main things would be to have it's kind of weird to say, but have like a business brain. If you go at it with just doing it for fun without any plan, without any like business plan, and taking care of noting all your expense, and just being proactive in being on top of everything like a manager for your own things. Oftentimes when it's our own breeding, the only accountable person is yourself. So if you see it in the perspective where you already are running a business, although you're not necessarily right now generating numbers and whatnot, like that business brain, that business mentality is really, really important. And then just being a generally good person with the industry, and reaching out to people and building your brand. And it's there's so many different things about it, but I think that having that business mentality is really, really crucial.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Speaking of building your brand, like as far as like when you were building your brand, I mean, obviously we all like consistently or like all the time we're building our brand. But like, what are some things that you did like early on? Like, was it just get on the social medias? Was it just going to shows? Kind of like a combination of all that?
Yeah, I started Instagram in 2016. So basically, when I started really doing the breeding, I started Instagram at the same time, and just being consistent with that. Uh, Always posting. I think like just like taking pride of what you do, having nice quality pictures all the time. I think that if you're proud of your animals, you don't want to take a picture with your trash at the back and everything. Just being like a clean brand, and being proud of what you're doing. This is one thing, and I think that the biggest step for my business has been starting the YouTube channel. It I wanted to do it for a long time, but I was kind of scared of doing it because my first language is not English, it's French. And although I'm good in English. My main language is French. I was always like, I have an accent. Sometimes my word don't come out as quickly as I want. So I was kind of scared doing the YouTube channel, and I jumped in. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it for myself. Posting things that I want to do. I want to share that, and not being like pushed on from like, oh, I should talk about this because right now it's the hot topic. Like, I'll talk about what I want to talk and my projects and whatnot. And I found a passion doing all the edits and everything, like really, really enjoying doing that. But I think that the YouTube part is really what took it from like step 1 to step 5. Just because people not only do they get like they know you, but also they get to have a closer look of your breeding, not just online. Like online, everybody has an Instagram account and posts pictures of snakes, so that doesn't make you different. But when you have a YouTube channel and you open your door for people to see what you're doing and how you're thinking and your projects and your care, your maintenance, and everything else, I think that this is really what got me to the next step. Actually, the next steps with that. Yeah, YouTube was the biggest leap forward in my business.
Nice. And like those things that made you like different are really those things that make you stand out. So that's
Sure.
that all works in your favor.
For sure. And
For sure.
being honest, like I if there's anything like that happened that was bad, if you go back in the YouTube channel 2 years ago, I was talking about those slugs in the monsoon project, the heat rises. Like there's nothing to hide. We all do mistakes, and it's part of it all. So it was kind of a hop on with me, and let's see where we go and what we do.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I need to do better about like posting more stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure. Like obviously, like I posted stuff about the show, but the show is like really the only thing I consistently post. I need to do better about posting animal content. 100%. So what are you using like for editing, and like what are you using in terms of a camera? Are you using your smartphone? Are you using like a professional camera? What you got?
Using my cell phone, iPhone, for filming everything, and my girlfriend's usually the one behind. She just grabbed me a beer, but she was too shy to come on camera.
What's up?
But yeah, no, I do use my iPhone, and for editing, I have a Mac, so I do use Final Cut Pro.
Okay. And so how long does it typically take you to like turn over a video?
The first ones were like 15 hours or something for like a 7 minutes video. It was absolutely crazy. I am not a computer savvy. Like I don't know crap about anything there. But I was really, really motivated. It's just like going on YouTube, how to do this, how to do that. So the first video was like very, very long, but now for maybe like a 15 minutes video, I can do it in like 45 minutes or something. So it's not too bad. I've been slacking on YouTube for the last, like actually for all the summer. I had a lot on my plate with work and everything, and it's kind of taken up to a point where I'm like, you know what, it's kind of getting challenging for myself, and I don't enjoy it. And my goal is to enjoy it all the time. So if I don't enjoy it, I don't want to make the video. So I just kind of took a few steps back. I also started at the beginning in 2023 a French YouTube channel.
Nice.
Running the two at the same time, so 2 videos a week was kind of a lot. I'll pick it back up when everything kind of falls down and we have a little bit less of a busier time. I think after Tinley will be the right time. Maybe I'll post like 2 or 3 videos a week at that point. But right now it's just like it's a bit too much in here. I want to focus on the animals and myself, so we'll get back to it very soon.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. I mean, obviously, like what about 4 to 6 weeks ago, having like the flood, then you got like shows, you got the hunting trip, you got Tinley coming up. Like it's like things back to back to back to back. So never wrong, give yourself a little bit of break.
Yeah, as long as the animals are healthy, that's all that matters, and we'll get back to everything else after that.
100%. So how's your season looking this year?
With all the things that happened, like the power outage, I actually moved from in the NBK Reptiles facility. So basically, I rent a room there to have all my snakes. I moved from a smaller room upstairs in the building to something much bigger downstairs. So that moving, the temperatures are a little bit different. So moving from one place to the other kind of ruined a little bit part of my season. But although last year I had 51 clutches, and this year only at 34 right now, and probably won't be over 30, 36, 37. So considerably less than last year. But I'm kind of okay with it. Like there's so many things going on, and that's all right. And next year, I'm probably gonna shoot for like 65 or 70 clutches. So in that range, and probably gonna ride with that for a couple of years after that.
Okay, so was the 51, was that like your record year, or have you done
Yeah.
more than that?
Yeah.
51 the
So
record.
so basically 2021 I did 33, 22 I did 51, and this year probably like 36, 37 or something.
Okay, and in terms of like the animals you're selling, is it primarily morph market and shows? Is that what you're doing,
Uh,
or social media?
yeah, most of it is going through Morph Market. I think that Morph Market has been the main seller for us. But I think that YouTube will come second. Although they mostly sell through Morph Market, I feel like, having people see the animals, this clutch came out and this project and whatnot is really helping. And then a few contacts, like I do have some customers overseas in Asia and stuff like that. So that really helps as well. And building that clientele, I think that's something I'm going to focus on in the next like 2 or 3 years as well. To maybe fly to Japan next year
Oh,
and
nice.
build relationships there. I've had a few customers there in the past and this current season. So if I can go there and a bit like what Justin Kubota
Justin
did
did
recently, yeah, do
in
that like type of PR.
Bangkok.
And, yeah, exactly.
So when you go to Japan, like where are you going exactly? Like, are you going to like meet someone specifically? Or are you going to like a show or something like that?
I'd like to attend to a show, to be honest. That would really be my goal. Go there and and get that whole experience. I have a few people that I can go visit. I have nothing's planned right now. It's mostly like I'd like to go and who knows, we'll see. But yeah,
Yeah, that'd be dope, man. Get your name out there, international, worldwide.
right on, man. Right on. That'd be pretty cool.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. So operationally, like what's I know there's no one day that's the same, but just like on an average day, or typically like what does that look like for you operationally as far as like working with the snakes and
Yeah.
all that?
So basically, every day, things I'll do, I'll check all the equipment. So basically, every thermostat, I'll go through like a quick visual check of all the room, making sure that there's no failure and everything there. Same with the incubator. Same with most of the digital equipment, like electronics and stuff. Then I'll run through. Actually, I have a really good sense of smell. So whenever I come in a room and I was like, oh, there's something that there's a rat that they grabbed and left there. So I'll go through that. These are kind of the first things I do. And then I have a lot of back problems because of actually cleaning snakes too much. So I kind of go and clean one rack a day. So that way I kind of drop down a bit of the amount of work I have to do in one day, which really kills me. So I'll do a little bit every day. And then the next day after cleaning a rack, I try to go back and do like a quick spot clean because you clean them and they poop right away.
Yeah, they can't wait for you to clean it so they can poop.
They can't wait, but it's that stimulation, right? They sit in a corner all the time, and as soon as it stimulates them, it gets them moving and they evacuate everything afterwards. So it's kind of reverse on how it makes sense, but still. So the next day I like to, give a quick checkout, and that way it's just like fresh poop, you clean it, you take it away. The next cleaning session gets like super quickly done because there's basically almost nothing in it. So that's kind of my basics. And I don't necessarily have like a scheduled fixed feeding day. I'll go a little bit like, today I went through the rats. I grabbed those pups and weans and I fed those and those here, those there. So I kind of split everything through the week. So I keep myself busy all the time.
Gotcha. And so you said it's about 500 snakes, and that's including like babies and everything?
Yeah. Yeah, I have, as far as adults, I have like, I have 6 racks of like adults, male, females, holdbacks. And the rest is just babies growing and the stuff that's for sale.
Gotcha. So sales last year, how many babies from 2022 do you have? Do you have any, or have you sold them all?
I do have a few left, I think, from 2022, maybe 10 or 12 from last year left. And 2021, they're all gone. Interestingly enough, I think one of the best times of the year for me is actually the winter time, the dead time. For us, we call it the dead time basically because we don't ship anything.
Mhm.
From December to April, it's just closed. We don't ship anything in Canada. We don't ship to the US or internationally. But this is also the time, like January this year was our best month ever. And we're not hatching like a lot of things. It's just stuff from last year that, people like have different financial backgrounds and whatnot. And it's just a time that is doing very well for us in the winter time. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. So what was I about to say? Do you have like a cutoff? Like let's say for females, maybe males are a little bit different, but if you like have a female up to like a certain age or a certain weight, are you just like I'm gonna keep her, I'm gonna hold her back and breed her? Like do you kind of have like a rule for that or how's that
Yeah,
go?
honestly, like I do sometimes put some snake up for sale. Some will go right away, and I kind of regret it instantly. That just happened last weekend. I sold a black pastel acid head clown. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept her. Um, but you make a customer happy, they're gonna come back in the future, and maybe you're gonna buy a snake from them. So a win-win in the end. But it happens. It actually happened a couple times that I've had some snakes on morph market. No one was interested. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep that animal, and boom, it proved the head hypo. Like, oh, all right, cool, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so a few things like that, and I think to answer really your question, like a cutoff time. I don't necessarily have a cutoff time, but if I can see that this animal is a really strong eater, it fits in my project. Although I might have held back a very similar snake or something with one extra gene. If that specific animal is a good eater, looks good, fits in my project, I don't see the reason why I shouldn't keep that snake, breed it once, and sell it as a proven breeder afterwards. So it's kind of your loss, my win. If the community didn't buy that animal, I'm gonna keep it, breed it, and just bring something else.
Nice, man. Actually, in this next segment, I want to talk about your passion projects, but I'm gonna do a real quick sponsor shout out. Be right back.
Peace and love, family. We invite you into the heart of our serenity, Ancestral Royal Pythons. At Ancestral Royal Pythons, we're not just breeders, we're nurturers of love and growth. Each of our high-end ball pythons is a tribute to the grandeur of the natural world and our dedication to quality. Reach out today and bring one of our creations into your home. This is Ancestral Royal Pythons. Your journey begins here.
Here's to the exciting world of Ebony and Ivory reptiles. From unforgettable parties and events to keeping and hatching some of the dopest reptiles in the reptile hobby, we're all about education, quality, integrity, and respect. Hit us up and see how we can help make your next project a reality. Experience Ebony and Ivory reptiles, where fascination meets fun.
Ebony and Ivory reptiles.
Shout out to the homie Jason. Shout out to the homie Matt. Appreciate y'all support, fellas. Really, really do, man. So, passion projects. So it's a couple I want to talk about right off rip, but you'll probably get into those. So, like, speak to like some of your biggest projects that you're working right now.
Clown's the main thing, but I can't talk about anything else but Monsoon, man. This is my kind of favorite projects of all. One of my favorite snake of all time has always been the granite Burmese python. I grew up looking at that animal and being like, holy crap, this thing is just absolutely insane. So when I first saw the Monsoons from Dave Green, my jaw just like dropped. I was like, holy cow, now we have one in the ball pythons. So I had to, invest in that. So it's kind of one of the first Canadians to actually buy some Monsoon stuff. And I was really, really ecstatic to work in the project. Unfortunately, I love the project, but it hasn't been treating me very well. I've had really, problems with it, just stuff that happens, just bad luck. But I think that, if you go over the fact that Monsoon is extremely intense as in terms of like pattern and everything, I think that if you like that type of look, it's just going to be an amazing gene to work from. So I'm super, super excited about the Monsoon in my collection. And we're actually in a position where our first monsoons we could make would not just be like monsoons. We could actually make some like OD yellow belly fire monsoons or super OD monsoon and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it's going to be very interesting when we start actually making some, because we were kind of unfortunate at first, but maybe for a good thing, maybe we're going to hit the good stuff a bit later than everyone else, you know?
Have you worked it into like any like double recessive or triple
I
recessive
do.
project?
I do. Yeah. I have a male. I haven't really posted it that much, but I can say it. I don't mind. I bought a male triple het. There's a ghost monsoon clown. So I'm going to work that male into a lot of double het DG clown females, some desert ghosts, some clowns, some of my het monsoons. So in the next, couple years, I'm going to be producing a lot of those, holding back a lot of those. But it's, something I'm keeping more for myself, kind of working on it on the side. And in 4 or 5 years, I'm just going to be in a position where that's going to be pretty solid.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds exciting. So what about Sentinel?
Sentinel is a fun gene, man. I'm in a, again, it's always my take on it is I'll make as many hats as I can instead of trying to make the visuals. I'll let everybody else do the visuals, but the day I'll make the visuals, they're going to be stacked. So right now I'm just like pairing heavily to make, double recessive, triple recessive, stack combos with a head for Sentinels. But next year should be pretty cool. We should have maybe 10 to 15 clutches to make some combos with it. Some Cypress Sentinels are in the work. Oh yeah, that should be pretty epic. And so some super OD Sentinel stuff, some Sentinel Clown, and maybe even some triple recessive Sentinel stuff. So yeah, it's we're gearing up pretty well, but it's just a matter of patience and time.
100%. Yeah, you got like a similar thought process as I do as far as like working the codoms into the projects. Like I want to see like the codoms in the projects, even if it takes me a little bit longer, and even if that's the case, like I still want to see the codoms in it, and that's kind of the way I want to go with it.
100%. Codoms are the future, man. It's like in the last 3 years, everyone's been so focused on double recessive, triple recessive quads. But to be honest with you, at the end of each year, I kind of look back at all the snakes, all the posts I saved on Instagram. And I'm always like the one snake that blow my mind all the time are the one with, just one recessive and stack codoms, and the right ones.
Yeah.
So I think that this is
right
really
the right ones.
That's it, the right ones, and just avoiding some, adding the right ones, and working your way through that. That's the real game. I think in 5-6 years, yes, like a hypo Sentinel Clown will look amazing, but if you compare it to a super OD yellow belly fire Cypress Sentinel, I still think that one would be nicer. But in terms of how much work they are, I think they're very similar. Hitting that triple recessive or that stack codom, I just think that the codoms are a like nicer way to do it.
Yeah, you gotta season them up with the codoms.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not a main course. You gotta season it up a little bit.
That's it. I like it. I like it. Yeah.
And then tell us more about the gorilla gene. Like everyone was hitting me up saying you got to ask about the gorilla. You got to ask about the gorilla. Can you get him to send me a gorilla?
Honestly, it's funny because I have like a good partnership with Brand from NVK. It's the guy we know hired me a couple years back. And basically the way we worked our deal now is that, I don't like take care of the animals, but I take care of his marketing and the breeding and the projects and everything. So I have my collection, but I also manage his. So basically, like and he has the same amount of snakes as me. So about 500 as well. His collection has been built over, African imports in the early 2000s. He held back so many Dinker projects. When I started there in 2017, there was like maybe 15 Dinker projects, which were going into all over the place. And we really narrowed it down to 4, which are basically the cantaloupe, the apricot, the burn, and the gorilla. And it's funny because the gorilla has always been the one in the back burner, which was like, you know what, it looks good, but I don't think it's going to do that much. And we'll just play with it and see what we make. And in the past years, we did some pairings, and they didn't really ended up looking like we expected them to look. So we're kind of bummed about it. But we have like 3 big breeder females gorilla, and I was like, you know what, I'll go all in and put some dark stuff in it, and we'll see what happens. And damn, yeah. So we hatched some GHI gorillas, black-head gorillas.
That the one that I saw was nuts.
Absolutely crazy. And I got kind of, I got excited about it, but I didn't realize how much of a gem we had. When I posted those snakes, I went for the weekend with my girlfriend on the family cottage. And it wasn't a weekend. I just spent all weekend on my phone because I had like 200 people reaching out over the weekend for like questions, availability, and whatnot. And we sold out on all the animals we made in the gorilla project this year. So that was kind of quite something. And the YouTube video just like rose up like tens of thousands of views, and that was pretty cool. So I'm really, really excited about the project. Finding the right way to work it was really exciting for us. So it's a fun gene. I think that it both has the potential to be worked in the dark stuff to enhance the darks, boost the contrast and whatnot, but also in the light stuff from previous pairings that we made last couple of seasons. I think the gorilla has really the potential to also be worked in lighter projects without dulling the colors, but keeping those blacks really crisp. So we'll have fun playing in both ends of that spectrum. Very, very dark stuff and very, very bright stuff. So we'll work into all of this.
Yeah, I want to see what it looked like and like some ultra male stuff too.
You're like Jaffe then. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We team ultra male all the way. He said the same thing.
yeah. He told me, man, that black-head lavender needs to go into ultramel, and you guys are right. It absolutely has. I think that rich dark will turn into purple snake, like crazy purple snake. So yeah, next year, hopefully we have some pairings for some gorilla head ultramels.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be dope. So what else you got cooking? Morph wise or project wise that you want to talk about?
I think that I'm gearing up a lot on the puzzle project actually today, which was kind of a really, really good hit for me. I did hit my first puzzles. I've made a lot of hats, but today is just my first visual puzzle. I made 2, a pastel puzzle and a pastel yellow belly puzzle, and both of them are 66% head for hypo and 50% head for DG.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully the shed test whenever I send them will turn out positive for that. But puzzle is one of the projects that I'm really, really hitting heavily, and I think it's fun to have that reset button of like, oh, we know how most of the incomplete dominant works with clown, but let's try to figure out how it works with puzzle, because they interact very differently all together. And I think it's super cool to have that possibility of doing all that process again and discovering everything once more. It's going to be the same thing with Sentinel. I think it's a gene that has enough pattern for everybody to do all that process again and really figure out what works again with that project. So yep.
I definitely got to get into puzzle project by any means necessary.
Oh man, you have to. For sure, jump aboard.
For sure, like I will soon, and like that's really probably, I say that now, but based on current thing, and that's the last like project that I'll get into, and I'll probably go like double recessive with it too, and then just like work it out obviously with codoms and stuff like that, and just work it from those angles and try to make something nice.
Yeah.
I saw the so it was an ultramel puzzle in Daytona. That was pretty dope. But
yeah,
puzzle works well too. Like I think like I'm not into VPI, but like I think like VPI puzzles, I think that'll be nice. Hypo puzzles, obviously that's nice. And like I've seen a bunch of dope stuff, and I'm generally not like a super like pastel guy, like pastel or super pastel, but I think pastel works well with puzzle too. Like I've seen like a lot of nice
it does. It does. I think like the perspective of the whole pastel thing in the last couple of years has been with the filter of clown in front of everything. But taking clown away, pastel is phenomenal, man. It works with DG, it works with Xanthic, it works with puzzle, it works with zebra, it works with hypo, it works with so many different things. It's just like when you're a clown guy, pastel is like, but
clown did pastel dirty.
but that's it. But again, it's like what I like to keep my mind on is every single gene has its place. You just it's our work to figure out what that place is. Champagne, bamboo, monsoon, pinstripe, all those genes that are heavily patterned, they have their place. We just got to figure out what's the best way to do amazing combos with it. Like the champagne, is super. I've been at Mark Mendick's place a couple times, and every single time I go there, he opens up a bin and it's the champagne combo, and I'm like, what? It makes no sense. Like a super OD calico champagne. You're like, what the hell? How? It makes no sense, So it's just you gotta figure out a way to work everything, and there's a place for every single gene in this industry.
100%. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. He got any of them posted?
I can send you a picture if you want, but I think he did maybe back then. Probably he did, but I still have the pictures that I took from those things. I'll send you those.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see those.
It's pretty cool. It's exactly what you expect. It's a champagne with like high white sides and crazy orange colors. Crazy.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
So transitioning to the future. So like, what are the next steps for DPR Cold Blood?
In the next steps, so right now I'm starting to save up for actually me moving out of the NBK Reptiles breeding facility. All that in good terms and whatnot. It's just that the brand is growing more and more. And I was kind of, looking at either renting something a bit like Billy's facility, and having something more towards the city and doing like a type of project with, a local that I'm going to rent. Or the idea that I kind of prefer is to buy a piece of land and build a facility there. Not necessarily buy a house, because I right now don't necessarily have the finances for that. I'm still young, and everything's going back in the snake anyways. So yeah, the main next step is going to be to move into a new facility. So buy a piece of land, build the breeding, move the snakes there. Hopefully that can be done in like 2025. That's kind of the goal. And yeah, that'd be great. It's going to be a really like tough thing to do, moving out of there and finding all the finance to do that. But it's exciting.
Gotcha. And so it sounds like you're going to be going to like a larger space. Do you plan on like expanding a ton? And do you plan on like staging kind of the expansion, or just kind of like jumping right into it?
Yeah, I don't think, although I would want to do that, I don't think I could afford the breeding I have in mind. The way I want to do it is mainly build in consequence of being able to add parts of the breeding. So my goal would be to design something. So design the full thing that I would be the end goal, and then section it into, this is what I want to do in the first 5 years. This is the ad in the next 3. This is the ad in the next 10, and this would be the plan for the next 10 years. And kind of be able to work a building with the potential of expansion all the time. As far as the breeding, I want to do a bit more. I think maybe like 80 to 100 clutches would be kind of the sweet spot. But that will mostly be, internal growth from the holdbacks that I'm keeping, and not necessarily from like huge investments and whatnot. But yeah, no, I want to do the facility for, what's possible to work in, and then plan for what are the next steps coming. But I want to have a nice facility. So I want to take my time and not rush into something that's not up to my standards. So just go with what I can right now and just add in from there.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, grow a little bit, get accustomed to that, build, and then you like take the next step, then
Yep,
do the same process over and just continuously build and
that's it.
make it sustainable and up to your standards. So that's a good plan for
Yep,
sure. For sure. All right, bro. So before I let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of the night, I do have some wrap up questions for you.
for sure.
And so the first one is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
It's actually a good question. I'm gonna try to keep it condensed. I would probably go to Panama,
Okay.
uh, and it actually isn't too much of a far-fetched question because it's been with my girlfriend. Her brother just moved in there with all of his family, his 3 kids, and it's still something that maybe in the next 10 to 15 years we're potentially looking at having the reptile breeding facility in Panama instead of in Canada. So that could be something. Main reason is just like we went there a couple times. We absolutely love the country, the people, the culture, and everything. And we hate the cold, so that would be kind of a good place to go.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man, it's like unbelievably cold in Canada. Like I
Yeah,
was
no
talking to
fun.
I can't remember who I was talking with about it, but man, it was nuts. I was like, I cannot deal with those temperatures.
Yeah. To anyone who wants to visit Canada, come in the winter. Although you might think it's a crazy thing, just come in the winter for just a week. You'll experience why we're like so kind to each other because it's so brutal here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like we get a little bit of cold here in Florida, but but nothing like even remotely close. And it's only like cold for like three or 4 days, and then it's like back hot again.
Nah, us is like 5 months brutal.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't take it. So
We
hats
can't
off to
either. That's
y'all
why
for
we're
sure.
gonna move.
All right, bro. So the next one, if you won $10 million tomorrow, how would you use it?
Damn, that's a funny question because I was actually talking about that with my staff today. That exact thing. That is
A
hilarious.
word?
Yeah, we're like just like $10 million. What would you do with it? That's funny, man. Really, really good. Um, I think I'd be the type of crazy guy who would spend like, I'd keep 5 million for personal investment, and the other five I'd put it all into the business, into the industry. I think that especially right now, it kind of is a bit what we need, a bit of like, oof, like a nice kick to everybody, and just like um, injecting money at the right places in the industry. I think that there's a lot of breeders that, not to say anything bad, but don't necessarily need that money. But I think that there's a lot of breeders that are trying to get there, that do need those sales, that do need the market to catch back up. It's not that the market is bad; it's just that maybe people are a bit more afraid and things are going a bit slower. It's going to catch back up again. I'm not afraid about that at all. But I think that winning $10 million, keep 5 for me. The other 5 I'd put into a crazy land, crazy breeding, and remove a few pages of morph market availability.
So I actually want to touch on something or I actually want to talk about something that you just touched on in terms of the market. So you've been doing this since 2017?
2016, basically. Yeah.
2016, 2016. So I've heard some people like talk about it more as a market correction, which makes a lot of sense. And so like in terms of like what it looked like before COVID, during COVID, and now, do you feel like now is more similar to what it looked like before COVID, or do you feel like there's still like a bit of a disconnect between like now and like pre-COVID?
I I think that it's a very interesting question, and it's a complicated question to answer because there's so many layers to it, so many different factors. First of all, I remember during COVID, like the very very beginning of COVID, going through Morph Market every day, well, as I still do today, but going through Morph Market and seeing maybe 20 snakes above $10,000. Now you can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll at snakes that are super expensive. I think that drop of prices is definitely a market correction. I don't think it is as easy as it was to make. Actually, I think it is easier now to make a $10,000 snake. So having the price drops in that spectrum, I think it's not a bad thing. To me, a $10,000 snake should be a very difficult snake to make, something absolutely amazing, not something that you can do just like this by breeding, 2 snakes at like $1,000 and you hit the odds and you have one $10,000 snake. That correction is, in my opinion, a good thing. I don't think the DG clown were meant to be 10 grand for the whole time. I think $5,000 is still insane amount of money for something that almost every breeding has the potential to do. I think that's one thing. And there's never been that much crazy stuff that's been produced in right now. And it's a different market. Personally, I wasn't really selling before COVID. I was kind of more in my build-up years where I was mostly a buyer. I was not in a position where all the animals I was making were still for sale. Still not is today. I'm mostly holding back the nice stuff. I think that COVID has been great, but a lot of people came in during that time. And it's easy to ride the wave when it's going fine, but it's really when the tides are down that you have to buckle up and get ready for it. I think that right now it is, but it's just like breed a bit less, focus on your pairings, put less females for each males, and just hold back whatever doesn't sell. And whenever the market comes back up and finances go back, it's gonna do fine. And just in the meantime, focus on your branding, your marketing, your sales, your PR and whatnot. Like it's all up to you. Like I have friends that they do just fine just by being proactive. They call pet stores for their wholesale. They do whatnot and they survive. They do actually something of their time instead of like, oh, you know what, the sales are not good, so so difficult. You know what I mean? Like you got to be proactive and it'll be fine.
Great answer. All right. So if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's good. I'd say my grandmother, just because she passed away when I was kind of like early teenager. And she, from all I've heard, she was a very, very knowledgeable person. And very spiritual and introspective, very introspective person. So I'd like to have a good talk with her. I would like 3. Good question. Honestly, I'd like to have. I think I'd have a few questions to ask to like Wayne Gretzky. I'm a huge hockey fan. I'd like to have a dinner with him. That'd be pretty good. Yeah. And I would like to have it. You know what? I'd like to have like a dinner with one of my oldest ancestors that came. That one, like I said, the first one that came into Canada, just to have like a brief history of the lineage of the people that I came from, and have like kind of a perspective of how it was back then.
Nice. What's one question you would ask Gretzky?
Man, what was the work ethic? Like to get to the top and be so good. I understand there's talent, but I'd like to have him briefing me on the work ethic to get to that level, because there's talent, but there's so much more that brings you that difference, and he has such a difference from every other players. Having him like really pushing on that would be great.
Nice, man. Those were great answers, man. Bro, so it's been super cool, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight, giving us your knowledge and giving us your insights. It really means a lot, bro. So is there anything else you want to tell the listeners about what's on deck, things to keep an eye out for, stuff like that?
I'd say, guys, just right now, if you think that times are tough, just think that you can always do a little bit more. Focus on your branding and just enjoy the ride. There's no stress, and it's just like do it for passion and keep doing what you're doing. I don't think it's a good necessarily time to sell everything and just do something else. I think that if you're passionate, keep at it, and it's going to come back.
Nice. 100%, man. Everybody who came and joined us tonight, man, I appreciate you for coming out, checking us out. Thanks to everybody who checks us out on the replay. Thanks to everybody who checks us out on the audio podcasting platform, man. We really appreciate all the support across the board. Y'all don't forget, make sure to show the sponsors some love, show the channel some love, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hook smash that notification bell. Definitely, again, we appreciate all the support. Definitely, and be sure to check us out next week. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. Can you hang back for a couple minutes, bro?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed. Peace.